Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and another month is in the books. So this is everything I picked up in Blu-ray and 4K in the month of September. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I will leave a link for that in the description. All right, so September is in the books, and we've had a lot to pick up in this month. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. So here's everything I picked up in the month of September. We're going to start off with Blu-ray and 3D. So first thing here is going to be Olivia Wilde's directorial debut in Booksmart. I enjoyed the hell out of this film. I think I was going into this with very low expectations, but a stellar cast, great writing, and just a overall good movie. Just really elevated this one for me. I could easily see this one being in my top 10 of the year. It was just a lot of fun, and it doesn't, it's a modern teen movie, and take that for what it is, but I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it was very surprising. It was a good hit, and it looks good on Blu-ray, so I recommend that one. Also, they did a re-release of this one. Don't ask me why I pick it up. You'll know why. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, came out in a new edition of Blu-ray, so I decided to pick this up. Big fan of the movie, and of course the characters, so I don't really need to say anything else. It's a good movie. Also picked up this month, actually a couple releases this month that were sent to me by subscribers. And I want to thank them again. Just, you guys support the channel. It's awesome. Thank you so much. First one is going to be the modern retelling of the Three Stooges. I'm a huge Stooges fan. And just, it was nice to get this one because I haven't had it in my collection. And of course, the original in steelbook form, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Come on, this is a classic. It's a horror flick that has just stood the test of time. They've tried to remake it like a billion times since then. But the original, nobody can beat it. And it's just an awesome steelbook. Love it. Once again, thank you to those subscribers that were sending me those. Very much appreciated. And another new release for this month is going to be the Child's Play reboot. I enjoyed it. I really did. I wasn't a huge original Chucky fan. I liked the first few movies, then I kind of lost, they got more and more cheesy. But then it was never something I really, was like, oh, they should never reboot Chucky. It's just a thing. Look, reboots are just the nature of the beast. And I just happen to think that this one was a good one. It really adds a different spin on just the whole mythology of Chucky and what it is for as far as a reboot goes. I enjoyed it, and I think it looked great. I'm a big fan of it. I hope they make more. Who knows? Maybe they will one day. But yeah, it was definitely awesome, and I'd love to watch that one again. And this one is definitely one that is pretty much an acquired taste kind of film, and that is The Dead Don't Die with Jim Jarmusch directing. This was a very, judging from the comments in the videos with this one, it's people who love it or hate it. And I guess I loved it. It was good. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, there were some things that didn't work, but overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, Adam Driver, Bill Murray, just the start is just amazing. Those two have great chemistry. It is quirky as hell. It's fun, and it's not your typical zombie movie, but I enjoyed it. And I do understand why some people didn't, but I enjoyed The Dead Don't Die, and it's got a nice slipcover too. Also picked up this week, this was just a catalog title I picked up. I've been missing out on my collection for a while, saw it for like $6, decided to get it. That is Nicole Kidman and the Others, and I think I'm probably going to add this to my Halloween watch list for this year. I think this is a very underrated type of film. I was very surprised on what the plot unfolded with this one, but I do like it. While the Blu-ray is probably not going to be the best quality, it's just one of the older ones, I still enjoyed the film quite a bit, and I'm anxious to check it out again for this Halloween season. And not much 3D this month, unfortunately. It's just a lot of going for new releases because of September 10th and all that sort of thing. So the only thing I really picked up, and it's a biggie, is Avengers Endgame in 3D. Absolutely love this movie. I've talked about it at just pure length, so I won't bore you guys with that anymore, but I love the movie, and just 3D is awesome. It's worth importing. If you're still a fan of 3D, definitely check that one out. All right, so let's take a quick break, and then we'll jump into everything I got in 4K. All right, so let's go over what I picked up in 4K. This was quite a month, a lot of huge weeks going on, and just a few catalogs thrown in, and just a lot going on in September in general. So first thing I picked up was a catalog title I've been wanting for quite a while, and I just wanted to, finally just get this for a decent price. Saw it, and I was very happy with the results. So picked up Darkest Hour, a good compendium to Dunkirk if you've ever had a chance to check that one out. I like to watch them back to back as far as like, kind of like a little, just a duo kind of movie, but they both tell essentially the same story at some point, just from different perspectives. Of course, the military side in Dunkirk and the political side in Darkest Hour. So I was very glad to get it. It's a native 4K. It looks great. Was able to try it out on the new LG C9. It was like one of the first movies I did like a testing on, and it looked phenomenal. It looked really good. Of course, we had the huge Disney Pixar dump for this month, and the first one is Ratatouille, as you can see in the Steelbook edition. I love this movie. It's definitely in one of my top 5 Pixar movies of all time. It's fantastic, looks fantastic. It's just a really good movie. Once again, I did reviews for all the Pixar stuff and everything, so just check the channel for that. Another release this week is Sylvester Stallone in Lockup. Classic Stallone stuff. It's not one of his better, well-known films, but it's still a lot of fun, and I'm glad to get it in 4K. It looked great, in my opinion, and I like seeing some of the older action movies get the 4K treatment. It really just kind of makes you feel good and about the future of the format, when we see cool movies like this. And as I said, not one of his more well-known films, but it's still a lot of fun to see in 4K. Also a fun movie in its own right, but unfortunately a kind of a subpar 4K release, is Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke and Sam Neill. I love the movie, and it's a lot of fun to watch, if you want a good monster flick, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, the 4K is not the best one. This is really like going to be up to you if you decide to pick it up in the 4K format. If you have a Blu Ray and you're happy with that, maybe you should just keep the Blu Ray. But, if you want the 4K, it's out there. So, also, a good movie this one is, but it's just not like, I think it just missed its potential, and a couple casting weirdness going on here. But Yesterday, the love letter to the Beatles is here. I enjoyed it overall. It needed that like kind of extra oomph to it, and I feel that it kind of got there, but it was just not an overly particularly memorable film, especially when we had other good movies, things like Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody. So understandably, a movie like this could kind of get lost in the shuffle, but it's still very enjoyable. It's worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of the Beatles. Another Pixar film is Brave. As you can see, Steelbook edition for that. Love this movie, but I just wish it kind of gave us more as far as like the mythology goes of like the world they inhabit. I think that was the most interesting part, and then they kind of just bury it about halfway through, and then you're just kind of dealing with a mom turned into a bear, and it's good. It looks actually really fantastic in 4K, but it's still a good movie. It's definitely worth checking out in 4K. Also, Cars 2. And hey, Cars, the original Cars is out on 4K, and hey, Steelbooks look nice, and it's a good movie. Even though we've seen this movie called Doc Hollywood, that's basically what it is. I still enjoy it though. It's fun, it has some good moments, and overall just a good cast. And Paul Newman's missed. I still miss the guy. Like he really, you hear like him doing a voiceover, and you're just like, hey, you miss the guy, especially his older films. But anyway, Cars looks fantastic in 4K. This one I was very eager to get my hands on, and I was not disappointed, and that is Martin Scorsese's Casino in Steelbook form here from Best Buy. Love the movie. Not a huge fan of Sharon Stone in it, but everything else is so much I love this film, and it's just awesome. It's really good to get in 4K. And speaking of not too great sequels, Minibike International, it's okay. It's okay. It's not terrible, but I feel like they kind of wasted a little bit of the chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. We know they have the chemistry on screen. I just really chalk it up to bad writing and bad overall plot, especially when you can predict the outcome of the film in like 2 minutes. And it's just it could have been better. Also, Anna in 4K, Luc Besson's latest film. It's very reminiscent of something like Red Sparrow or La Femme Nikita, and it's still very enjoyable. While I don't feel it's one of Besson's best films, it's still it's cool to watch. And I think the Dolby Vision on this looks phenomenal. It looks great. It's definitely just demo worthy as far as that goes. it's an overall good movie and it's worth checking out, especially if you have 4K. And this month I actually picked up a brand new TV. I picked up the LG C9 65-inch. And typically when I buy a new TV, I like to buy a new movie with it. And I, of course, since I get most of the new stuff when it comes out release week, I like to go for a few catalog stuff if I can find it in stores. So this time I opted for I Am Legend in 4K. Like this movie a lot. It doesn't get a lot of praise or a lot of like just fondness when people look back. I don't know why, but I enjoy Will Smith in it, and I think it's a cool movie. It has a lot going for it. But this was my TV movie for this time. And then, of course, we have a couple more here for the month. And Good Dinosaur, very underrated. It's not Pixar's best, not even close. It's probably down at the bottom somewhere. I know but there's still a lot of to like here. I think it's an enjoyable story. It looks beautiful. The animation is awesome. It's worth checking out, everybody. If you have the capability of getting this in 4K, I would absolutely recommend you do so. And of course, John Wick 3 is... I like John Wick 3 a lot, and I feel that I still enjoy John Wick 2 a little bit more, but as far as like presentation goes, this looks amazing. Dolby Vision, Atmos just are phenomenal on this disc. Absolutely demo worthy. The colors just leap off the screen. It is a cool movie. Not as good as 2 in my opinion, but it's still an awesome flick nonetheless, and it's definitely, you have to get that one on 4K. Another good movie that hit the Pixar dump for this month is Inside Out. Hey, you know, this is definitely another one of my top 5s as far as Pixar goes. This one, well, maybe it's 6. Maybe it's 6. But it's a really great movie. I enjoy it quite a bit. And just the voice cast is awesome. It's just also one of those movies that if you see it on TV and you kind of have to stop and watch it. It's just one of those. And it does look amazing. The 4K really brings out the HDR. It's awesome. It really is. My favorite animated film of all time got a 4K release. I couldn't be happier because it seemed like in previous formats, this was one of the movies, was the last movie to get a release, and it always annoyed me, but I'm glad they did this one in kind of a proper, you know, they gave it a proper, decent HDR visuals, and they did it justice. That is Disney's original Aladdin. Absolutely love this movie. I can't say enough about it. I really could talk about it all day, just how enjoyable it is, how it was the movie that brought me back to Disney, and it's overall good fun. I'm glad I have it in 4K. And speaking of Aladdin, the live action Aladdin, it's funny because I remember when I saw it in theaters, I was kind of hard on it, and I did like it, but it was like, how much did I like it? And of course there are some glaring issues with the film, but it's one of those, I've seen it 2 times since then. I just really dig it. I think for 4K, it shows off HDR really nicely. Those black levels, colors, everything pops in this release. And it makes it a lot more enjoyable. Does it take away from my issues? No, not at all. But I still enjoy watching it. I think the music's great. I think visually it's awesome. Story is almost there. But hey, I still have the original animated film if I really want to watch the version that I love. So you can't beat it. I still think you should pick up the live action Aladdin. Also, one of the newest releases I picked up in September was Maleficent. And it looks good. It actually looks better than I ever remember it. The Blu Ray looked good, in my opinion, to begin with, and I think those HDR really just brings everything out here. This is a colorful movie. Black levels are really nice and deep, especially when you get that green effect, you know, the greenness. That looks so good. It really does. It's a good, if you like the movie, definitely check this one out. And also, I went to see Rambo Last Blood this month, and I previously owned Rambo 4 in the 4K format. So I was like, you know what, let's just go out, let's get the others. So I managed to secure up Rambo 3, Rambo First Blood Part 2, and the original Rambo, or First Blood. Annoys me that I wasn't able to get slipcovers. I actually looked everywhere. The last couple weeks I've been doing, when I do my shopping videos, I go to all the Best Buys and everywhere to look for it. And I've been going to multiple different Best Buys. So it's like I couldn't find one for with the slipcovers, unfortunately, for those two. But hey, I'm glad I have them. Glad they're part of my collection. I'm anxious to get Last Blood in my collection when they release that in a couple months. But yeah, now the collection is almost complete, so I'm happy. And of course, the last couple is Finding Nemo. Definitely love this one. I'm so glad this was one of the first 4Ks of the Pixar dump in September, and I just enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I think really a good Pixar movie overall, and a really good movie overall. It really hits the heartstrings. It's funny. It actually takes, you know, a couple just simple basic ideas and puts it into a good flick. And of course, it's a nice steelbook. So, and finally, Finding Dory is arguably not as good as Nemo, but it's still fun in its own right. Ed O'Neill as the octopus is great, and then we got Idris Elba as one of the seals. I just love the voice cast in here. They're awesome. It's definitely worth owning in 4K, and it was it's just a good sequel all around. So that was a very heavy month for September. Everything I picked up on Blu-ray and 4K and 3D. Let me know in the comments below, what did you pick up in September and what are you looking forward to in October? So, and in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.